Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and hello. I have one for us today, a long one for us today, because I have enough things that I want to say broken up into enough different thought pieces that will link together. I don't 100% know what they're going to be. It's kind of a modular experience for us. What I do know is I've been trying to do things with the community server, filming live, things like that. I don't think I'm 100% ready for that because the last few times I've tried, it just is broken up just a little bit. I don't know if I'm 100% ready for that vibe yet. I think that might be like level 3 thing. And what I want to do ultimately is be able to make these live, like on YouTube or on Twitch or something. I think that might be like level 5 or level 7 thing, you know? And I think coming down to ground floor, I might be ready for like level 2, which is just be more of doing this. And what this is I remember one particular kind of beta film session that I did where it was not quite 2 hours of filming, and it turned into like an hour and 40 minutes of raw like videos after I chopped them up. And that was kind of like the apex. That was the peak of what it is that I've wanted to accomplish all of this time. And there's so many reasons for that and things I want to get into about that. And I don't know where to start, so I'm just kind of gonna start somewhere. And shoot, let me think for a second. And even just now, I'm trying to structure my thoughts too much. This is an offline video, for crying out loud. And I guess we're going to keep up with that. That's just the integrity of the video, of the moment. And I like making my little videos as encapsulated little moments. And my idea was a very long, sweeping film session. It might not be, because what I have right now, at least, is a very sweeping idea. I have a lot of frustration with myself. I think I'm just going to vent some of that frustration out into the air. And first, I want to talk a little bit about why I'm going to vent that frustration, which might actually be the entire first part video of what's going to be a series of videos. And I've done that before. I get in trouble when I make like, oh, I'm going to make 5 videos all in a row, and then I never actually release any of them. But this one might turn out a little bit different. So we're just going to go ahead and start off with a current vent about what brings me here, which is the thoughts I had based on a viewer, Lord Orlando, who shared a video with me about what content creation is like and pursuing that, generally speaking. And in lieu of doing it as a career, which just sounds absolutely miserable, and based on my actions, that's not something that I want to do. How do I advance and move forward? And that's the video that you're going to be watching, and then we're going to go from there. So I thoroughly hope that you guys enjoy that. Bear with me. Slate, talking about what I'm doing here as a content creator. That'll be useful for me to have for later. And if I maintain this as a Finneas Former Longer situation, man, then kudos to you for being here in the first place. Again, this is what I would be doing live if I knew how, but I'm just trying to remember how to do this, generally speaking. So, you know, when the time comes to watch these live, they'll be live, but anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome to part 1 of a series, because I've been extraordinarily flustered lately. I've been flustered. Dang it. What am I doing? Just start. I started somewhere, I tried structuring it, that messed me up. So worry about the introduction later. I have so many videos on the chopping block. I'm filming a video because I want something to come out of the day, which is some of my favorite things. I was thinking about this exact moment, being frustrated by this moment. I want to make a video. I want to get back to making videos because I'm tired of not having videos. That's just something that I really thoroughly enjoyed doing. Because I like being myself, and I haven't felt like myself for a really long time today. I'm a mess on the inside. I'm dating my boyfriend is dating a mess. It took me 3 hours? Yeah, it took me 4. It took me 4 hours to get here after something minor happened. And that's a travesty, so I would want to make a video about that to demonstrate that it's okay to be a mess and what it looks like to be a mess. That would lead into questions about what my skill sets are. That would lead into its own video about how my skill sets are creatively based and expressing emotionality, compared to someone like, say, like my boyfriend has a skill set which is more practical and hands-on and useful, and that has a mild conversation within it about comparisons between yourself and other people. That's not a useful thing to do. People say you shouldn't compare yourself to other people, only compare yourself to yourself. My challenge there is you compare electronics when you're going to purchase them. You want to find out what does what's going to service you, what doesn't, things like that. And as far as slotting into life, but then also learning where am I deficient, what are the people I look up to, what are the qualities within them that I look up to about them, could I bring those own qualities within myself that I might come to look up to myself? That sort of thing comes about when you examine other people, which is different than I'm comparing myself to other people, even though sometimes it looks the same. I think it is possibly the same, just depends on how thoroughly you examine it or not. That could turn into an examination of my own actions. Someone with a penchant for creativity, but I don't always create because I don't know what it is that I want to create. One of the angles for that is flummox concerning my community, because people have rallied around me and I want them to enjoy their stay. So I want to only make things which are going to be correct for their stay, and they came for me. So if I just continue being me, that's what that should look like. That's what that must be. That's how it was born. That's how it shall continue. And that provides challenge to me because I have a hard time operating myself with integrity because I think I'm a fucking mess, and I am a mess, but so much of what I do here is try to allow myself to be a mess and to demonstrate that it's okay to be a mess. There's also thoughts that I have, and this is unrelated, about why I want to do this offline in the first place, which is to get better about doing them live before like the Discord audience. This is a chonker. This is a chonker. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Some of the ultimate goal with all of that is wanting to draw people into me, which is, I'll just spoil it right now, going to be discoverability through VR chat primarily, and then transitioning into Resonite after VR chat. So these diatribes would come to you from VR chat, and then if people like I had a schedule or whatever, and then people from VR chat could come into Resonite, and then that's just kind of like boosting awareness of the platform of Resonite, which is really fun for everyone inside of Resonite. And then that's a fun system for me to try to learn. Is it possible to, because I'm a little scientist in stupid ways, so is that even possible to grow in popularity as a public figure in VR chat on Twitch, and then use that to siphon viewers over into Resonite and boost awareness of the platform there? And then somewhere in there is also to become a name brand, like just to become a household name in Resonite. I want that, and there's only 10,000 names in Resonite in the first place, or 10,000 unique visitors it gets in a month. So I can absolutely just be one of those, baby. And I want to be one of the Resonite streamers, and I am one. And so that angle ultimately seems like an excellent way for Resonite streaming to. That's just an excellent angle, and then it just sounds really fun to see if I can pull that off. And in order to pull that off, though, I want live streams to be engaging on the VR chat side, and that's just what this experience is exactly. So I want to hone this to the best of its ability. I want to do that by building out individual pieces of it. I need to add the live component, but the raw film component is not yet up to sufficient par. If I'm trying to do too many pieces at once, then I don't know how to add people to it because I don't yet have the confidence in my raw film style that I once had. I fell behind a little bit because I reached the point I need to be operating in October, several months ago. And then I abandoned that, went into programming, abandoned that, went into Resonite, abandoned that more or less, went into my relationship, which has gone super duper famously well. But now getting back into filming in a really big way, which is part of content creation in a really big way, if I am going to pursue that in a big way, is what that has to look like. So I do have a community Discord server at the moment, and I have been filming a few odds and ends live, and unfortunately, I think it's going to be a while before those videos see the light of day. I haven't gone through and parsed them again yet. I've edited them, but I think, like, I just don't have quite... I don't think that they were what they needed to be. So until I can review them and kind of learn more about them and what that was like, because I'm going to be learning what it was like for me to be filming something before a live studio audience and having my little private Discord server. Like, I was learning a lesson above what those individual videos were. I'm not yet comfortable with that lesson, so I need to spend time with it. In the interim, I can film these videos, which is just kind of back to the basics of what I've been trying to do all along. And that is the first step before I add back in doing these live in the community server, which is going to be a step before doing them live on Twitch. But then even between that is doing events in Twitch or in VR chat and with the community generally speaking, because I want streams to be events. And so participating in events that I run will be excellent practice for putting on events that I run. Clearly. And it's only clear to me now after following through where I have to be. And I have to be here right now because my dumb ass had so many stupid emotional hangups today that I have to talk through all of them. And I have to pay respect along the way to just all sorts of things that brought me here. And just then I was trying to like angle the video in like a certain way. And that's just not how it needed to go. These have to be loosey-goosey, flowy, easy breezy. Because that's how I operate, that's my style of presentation, that's how this would have to be in a live stream, because you can't pause a live stream. You can, like, edit some of the pieces out. All of this is to say, I have a lot to say, and I have not been saying it enough. I would like now to begin saying some of what it is that I have to say. I will begin by saying some of why I have not been saying. And then we'll go from there. We're in for a long one today, and we might actually be chopping these up. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know yet what I'm making for sure, but I'm making something that I'm thoroughly pleased with. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you enjoy what's on the way. However, I decide to break these up. What is coming up next? Let's lock that in real quick. Yeah, I've been talking a lot about my community server on and off a little bit. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what it has been like having the community server in relation to the videos that I want to make, but then a little bit about the pause about me making videos anyway, because I used to do that all the time, and now I'm wanting to brush back off the skill. And so let's just go ahead and talk about why I haven't been uploading at all. Then I'll probably figure out something along the way, and then we'll go from there. We've got a long series, so I really hope that you enjoy. Buckle in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. All right, Finneas Former Longer. Finneas Former Longer. The only thing, oh gosh, because I'll be doing these live, so this will be like the chat break or whatever, switching between worlds. So I'm just trying to like do this real quick fast, super duper quick fast. And so this is just different scenery in my home world, and I'm just like doing like the heavy hitters. This is like the I've got a handful of locations inside of this home world that I film in, and we're very excited to be filming inside of the home world. But I know exactly, where some of the world, some of the places are, so I can just like hop real quick between backgrounds because I want to try and minimize this. And this, as you will know, is just vamping in between moments, in between sections, as you would need to on a Twitch stream to maintain engagement. And I know some pauses are absolutely fine. But if I want to work on Finneas Former Longer, the longer form, as I think that this is going to be, I'm trying something out. Thanks for bearing with me as I'm trying something out. I did say that this video was going to be about why I haven't been making videos. So let's figure what that out is about be like. So here we go. Hands. All right. Now give me a second. I'm going to do the slate again. I don't know if it'll help me or not, but it might. Slate. I haven't been making videos. Here's why. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and hello. One of the things I'm most excited to talk about moving forward is I'm a numbnut. I'm a lunatic, just absolute mess of a person on the inside. I drive myself crazy. I want to talk about that pretty badly. I can't, I had to make sure my tracking was right. I can't talk about that just yet because up first I want to talk about why I haven't been making videos lately, because I think talking myself through why I haven't been making videos lately will help me remember a little bit more about why I enjoy making videos or why I have been making videos, even though some of why I was making videos no longer applies. Enough other parts of it did apply that it's time to remember what those elements were. Can we boost those elements up a little bit? I think we can, so that something else is coming out of the videos, maybe even to a little bit more of a grand ratio, opposed to what I was personally getting out of my videos previously, which I no longer need out of my videos. Let's get to it. And if that wasn't just a chonker of an introduction, nothing will be. Alright, so up first. I've said a few times, I believe, by now, on the channels, or maybe they're in unreleased videos or whatever, or on streams, but I've said in places, and I'm saying it here once more, I have learned through these videos enough of a sense of self to be content. And it used to be my entire mission statement. Use these videos to learn more about myself. I would watch these videos and learn what it's like to be myself. And I reached that to an adequate degree. I no longer feel like I need to make videos to learn what it's like to be myself. I do, however, feel a grand impulse to still continue making videos. It's what I do. I hyperspect into it, and making videos is a piece of communications. I used to be an author first. I love communicating. Making videos is the way I hyperspect recently into communicating. I like communicating because I think I have a reasonably unique perspective on it. Not many people say the things that I do, and certainly no one says them in the way that I say them. And the more unique that a gift is, I feel like it becomes more of a sin not to share it. If you are the god of plumbing and you are not plumbing, that is an insult to everything. Like, if you must plumb if that's your calling in life. You must do it. And there's a lot of people who wish they had a way with words in the way that I'm able to put things together in words. And so I have to utilize that gift, otherwise I'm doing a disservice to the world and everyone in it, and everyone who's not able to use their words the way that I can. as a quick little note that I think we'll get to again later on, is every time I try to attach industry to my creative endeavors, everything falls apart, I fall apart, it's a bad time. So I try not to, and then inevitably things start going pretty well, and then I try applying industry to it again. It all falls apart, it goes horribly. I recognize now I am in a space where I have been attempting to apply industry to a creative endeavor. But the reason I keep doing that is because I'm convinced that there's something to it. Just, I had to say that it's like tangential to what we are talking about today, but it's going to come back, if not in this video, then in one of the future ones. That's important to know, that when I apply industry to a creative endeavor, things go bad, but that's what I'm trying to do anyway. And now we're going to take a step back from where we started the video, and I haven't actually really talked a lot about what the video is actually about, just that I enjoy making videos, but I kind of lost my way about the videos. Something reminded me about it about an hour or so ago. Is a excellent kind viewer, Lord Orlandu, brought to attention a video, someone that he had found who speaks kind of like me. Little quasi-philosophical ramblings about what it's like to try and be yourself in the content creation sphere, but what it means to be yourself and how that's a hard thing to pull off. And reminded me of my own vision quest of how important it is for me to be myself, because not very many people are. And one of the angles that they took in their video, though, was that you have to try not to be too much yourself, because it's not safe to be yourself in the current world that we live in. That doesn't really apply to me a whole bunch. Yeah, I try and project my heart as freely and honestly as I can, but that's behind the shield of the internet still. So in the real world, like, none of the internet people can hurt me. But in the real world, even then, it's like I'm just a tall 6-foot American male Caucasian. Like, I'm part of the like, I won that lottery straight presenting if I want to be. Like, I just like, I'm good, and I have enough of a heart that's resilient enough that it's like, okay, well, I've been through an 8-year divorce. Like, you can't hurt me. I've heard it all, baby. No one can touch me. So we're golden. I'm not really afraid of being hurt. And plus, the whole like furry VTubing thing, you've got kind of a cool angle in there, because it's inherently the sort of thing that's like supposed to be attacked a little bit, you know? Like, if a normie's here and they're like, what on earth is this guy doing? It's like, that is correct. What on earth am I doing? That's the correct thing to think. Because I don't think I'm supposed to be here necessarily. And then other people in the community are like, oh gosh, no one has ever said my thoughts before out loud, and you make me feel less crazy. And it's like, oh god, there's more than one of me. I'm so sorry. To everyone who fits in with my videos, I'm so sorry. Is terrible news. It's good news, but it's, oops. But it does remind me, if I'm in the capability to be myself, and many people are not in the capability to be themselves, be it where they live, or be it because they haven't learned the right lessons, they don't have the language to put to what they do have, something like that. I've heard enough times that, oh, I thought I was the only one. Recently, someone was talking about Kit Kats, and I described how I eat Kit Kats, and they're like, oh, I thought I was the only one. And it's like, are we all just thinking we're the only one over here? So if I'm not relaying who I am, and then people are like, oh, well, I'm not the only one. It's like, well, that's fantastic news, but I haven't been speaking for a while, and the more frequently I speak, that's just more opportunities for someone out there to be like, oh wow, someone else spoke. So it just stands to reason to me that I must speak. And it doesn't take anything away from me. I like this. I usually get energy when I do this. I love being a cat, being in front of the camera, filming, and streaming has been fun. I just need to structure it a little bit better to pull it off in a way that's as fruitful as I need it to be. We'll get there. I keep trying to rush it, but we'll get there. But the filming is going quite well. I'm remembering my words, the things that are important for me to say. And yet, I've still had a remarkably hard time getting myself to get back to it. A lot of that has to do with having come into, well, first of all, my relationship, which I'll hit on real quick. It's a small thing, and then we'll get to the community, which is the bigger part of it. So real quick up first is my relationship is I've still been sifting out what big emotions go into my relationship first, because I want to trust my partner with what I have going on before I trust the entire internet. So I'm still figuring that out. So some of those big emotions just haven't made it their way out, and those are what like my big videos are that I'm super proud of. So those have like slowed down, and I'm figuring that out, but that's not a problem whatsoever. We're just figuring that part out. But as for like a more mundane video that I just like decided to throw out, we're not like grappling big emotional concepts or untangling something. We're just kind of like talking for a little bit. I haven't been making those in large part because of the community server, oddly enough. Because people are here who like being here. And they're here because I have a little community server, and they fit in with my community. And I fit in with my community because it's my community. And I want to meet people who like my videos, and then other people who like my videos want to meet me, but then also want to meet other people who like my videos. It's been an active little community. It's been a pretty rockstar time, and I actually do feel really bad filming this offline when there are people who would want the behind the scenes of this. But this is something that I need to do for myself to get back into like, to get cool with being online, because there's something here that I want to say. The community people scare me. The people who are like fans of my video who have come to me and they're like, Finneas Former, I love being part of your community. You frighten me. Because I've never really had a community before, and I've always struggled with senses of community in the first place. And while we live in a world where people want to hang out with me and congregate, that's really cool. But if it's a little house that I've built, then I want people who have come here to enjoy their stay. It's understandable. It's reasonable. That's just clean language to use. I would like anyone who comes into my community to enjoy their stay. How do you do that? How do I get people to enjoy their stay? What amenities does my channel need? What do I have to do? What are my kind of videos would people like who are here to like watch my videos? And somehow that like locked me up pretty deep, because I want to only make good videos and have good little experiences. And I don't know how to craft something that's good. I just know how to craft. I try not to think too hard about the things that I craft. I don't think it always works out all the time. And I've been really worried about wanting to make things good for my community who's sprung about. So first we're going to talk... So first we're going to talk about my solution, and then we're going to talk about the missing link that brought me to my solution. A little backwards, but I think it's going to make for a better narrative, and it might actually make more sense. My solution is that I can't... It's a strange way to present this thought, so give me a second here. But I cannot ever make someone like something that I did. I've talked about this before on my channel, for sure. But so long as I can't reasonably guarantee, like, not everyone's going to like your book. So if you make a book hoping people will like it, that's the wrong way to go about it, because you just can't determine if people are going to like the book that you wrote or the video that you made or whatever. So to me, it just means make a video with heart, with integrity, and then you just release that, and then people will like it if they like it, because you can't control that outcome. Why are you trying to control that outcome? It reminds me that I cannot control my community's reaction to any of the videos that I make, because my community is just people. I can't force anyone to like or dislike a thing. People are going to do what they want to do, etc. So if I'm treating my community different than I would any other people, like I have extra pressures, I want them to enjoy their stay. I want to make good videos for them that they will enjoy having, and I want to only do really good things. That's been paralyzing me away from doing things. So my solution to being really overwhelmed with this paralysis, because I've been wanting to make videos, trying to get out, getting really bottled up, not knowing what to do about it. And then I think I've been pushing on some of that bottled up energy onto my boyfriend, my partner, which I don't think is actually quite correct, because some things are big and are important, or even just mundane things. But small problems don't need to go to like my partner. Small things can go here. That's totally fine. And small things can still be interesting too. And I'm still figuring out what that needs to look like. All of this is to say, I've been bottled up. Pretty simple language. I've used a ton of words in this whole entire video. I've just been bottled up. And so now here's like the piece that kind of connects it a little bit more, and it's so simple. Like I basically already said it, just not in this particular order. Because I've been bottled up, right? This is so dumb. I've been wanting to make videos for the community, wanting to do a really good job, paralyzed because I don't know if I can do a good job consistently or reliably, so I haven't been doing anything. I've been bottling up, etc. I finally reach a point where I get so bottled up that my videos must go out. I must film this. I got pretty bottled up today, and I had to do something with it, so I'm doing this. I kind of exploded out. The logic is what I said earlier about I can't make anyone happy by force, so just make something and people might be happy by accident. And the missing little piece of logic is that it was through being myself that people congregated to me in the first place. Not like a ton of people, not yet, but people are here because they like what I do, they like what I have been doing, they're all in on it. People are here because of what it is that I've been doing. My behaviors were always, when I was making videos, that I'm gonna make videos that I can't guarantee are going to be liked by people. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make videos that I enjoy and see what sticks. That's how I started making videos. Because you can't guarantee that an audience is gonna like them. So just make videos and see what sticks. That's fine. That's how I began making videos. That's how my channel, that's like how my style began. I reached a point where I couldn't guarantee that people would like my videos. I got bottled up. And then I remembered where I began. But part of the problem here is that I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. I couldn't maintain the course because I got freaked out because people were now part of it. It felt like people were watching. So then I bottled up, and then I couldn't stay the course that I had started and never stopped until I unbottled and it kind of exploded back into where it began. And I gotta be honest with you right now, I feel sheepish. Because that's pretty much actually the entirety of this video. It leans into the next video. And the next video's maybe not even super duper interesting. I don't know about that. Because as it turns out, I'm a lunatic. Because I wasn't able to stay the course and keep operating the way that I have always operated in my creative endeavors lately. Because people were involved. And my solution to that was to go back to my beginning mentality of I'm just going to do it anyway and see what sticks, which is the behavior I had always been doing. My behavior has not changed, my outlook has changed, and somehow it makes more sense to me now. Granted, the thing that I took away is like previously is the doing it live thing, back to the basics, like the super basics. But the behaviors are completely the same. And so I remembered what I'd been doing all along. It's like, oh wow, I could just do what I've always been doing, even though previously I could not do what I've always been doing. So in a way, this entire video has been set up for the next video, and I'm going to be talking about my relationship again. Because I'm in a relationship, and I'm nuts. And then today I was nuts too a little bit. So I was going to talk a little bit about how I'm nuts, and this general logic is messy and weird, and I have this kind of logic, like, cycle problem all of the time. I don't know what to do about it, and I want to talk a little bit about it, and then after that, I imagine we'll talk about something that kind of relates to all of it, but I don't know for sure, because I'm just trying out something that I haven't done for a really long time, because you got to try things out and see what sticks, because you can't guarantee anybody's going to like the thing that you do, so go ahead and just do things and hope that it works out. Okay, that's it for this video, and I thoroughly hope that you enjoyed it. I will talk with you guys soon. Bye-bye. Okay. Finneas Former Longer time. This is the one that's hardest to figure out, because this isn't going to be a super seamless experience. It cannot be. We're just progressing, by the way, deeper into this world, and we'll end a little bit more where it began, and I'm a little bit excited to talk a little bit more about where it began. That's going to be really exciting. I have one thing to do, still I have to make sure my audio is coming out the right device. And it has not been this whole entire time. That's okay. I like when VRChat has the antlion. Sometimes the mouth articulates a little over, but sometimes it's actually really nice. And I'm going to keep filming a little bit more. It's important to have this part in, because this is the casual conversation I would be having with people. I just haven't quite figured out what that has to look like yet, but just filming things in front of people isn't enough. I don't just want people to have access to behind the scenes, because these videos break up pretty naturally. So I don't know how to do this part of it and introduce people to it. I can maybe get away with people watching if I ignore the fact that people are watching, but that's not very community of me. So this is what I'm doing at this moment. We'll see. I'm not sure. This is generally the background that we'll be using. I do want some music inside of my earbud, my heads. So I'm going to figure that out, but I'll be hearing that, not you guys. So this will be one of the rare cuts in a Finneas Former Longer, the longer form video, which is back to how I think it's always supposed to have been, which is this general kind of a vibe. So I'm going to do that really quick. I'm going to come back, and then we're going to do the video, which I mentioned in the previous video, which is about my relationship, which has to do with my behaviors today, which has to do with how I fell into a weird-ass hole over $7, and it's going to be strange because I'm going to just use so many words for basically nothing. And that is all going to be a demonstration about how weird I am and how lucky I am to be in the relationship that I am. But ideally, I want to be able to learn something. And in particular, I think we're going to take the angle about trying to figure out what my skill set is, because what's easy to see is what my skill set is not. So I'll be back in like a second, and then we'll do that. All right, good. Figured that out. But then honestly, you're never going to be too upset with 2 videos and a Finneas Former Longer. We're only 44 minutes into this particular film session. While video 3 is on the way, like, we're on target for exactly what you always hoped for. So things right now, I mean, we're looking pretty good. And if this is the sort of thing that we can keep up with doing, that's golden. So far, so good, guys. And if I can do just this a few more times, I don't know. That's just, I'm going to be done talking about it at the moment, but this is good. This is good. One sec. I got to set my frame. Oh, I got to do a slate. I'm nuts. Slate. I'm nuts. I'm in a relationship. That's really great. And I just got to talk about that for a little bit. That just helps me in the editing process. That just helps me when I'm editing. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the next video in the series like I've been talking about. Last time I made mention that I am in a relationship, if you didn't know that already. And most of the video last time was just talking through a thought process that I've had with my creative endeavors and how it's been one of many logic traps that I fall into all of the time. Today I fell in another silly logic trap. I would use the word stupid, but I don't think that's the good word to use all the time. So I want to talk about what the logic trap is that I fell into today. It was about 4 hours cumulative before I ended up here. So we're going to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about that in the context of my relationship, and then I'm going to talk more about myself, my skill sets, what I'm good at doing, because I'm about to illustrate that I'm not very good at doing normal-ass things. So by the end of this video, it's going to be story time, but then we're going to be trying to figure out what I'm good at as a human and how creative endeavors apply. Let's just kind of get to it. I had to take off my little side blinders. It was getting too hot. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Storytime has to begin about a month ago when I was at the point in my relationship where I want to see my fish be able to smile at me, and he's great at fixing things, and I'm awesome at holding on to broken Quest Pros that don't have face tracking that works. I've been really into that. I've been really holding on to that because I have 3 headsets. I had 4, but I gave the last one away because it was like a Rift, something like that. Like I bought it was third hand. Like you can't give it away at this point. And I had a friend who was kind of getting into VR, and so I was like, here, just have this. And he's like, wait, really? And I was like, yeah, just, this is, I will never, I don't, like, I have this so I can give it to someone else. Here you go. And then he has since gotten his own headset, which is excellent. You know, like, it worked. That did not work. And then I have the Quest 3, and I like having that because it's got higher resolution, and it's just good for different purposes, and the shape of it's a little better for sleeping, which is nice when you're in a relationship. So there's a reason that I enjoy having the Quest 3 around, and the Quest Pro I needed so I could smile really good. But I don't need a broken Quest Pro. I've just been having that just because, I guess. Problem is, I have never shipped a Quest Pro before. And it's a $1,000 device. And then there's a other little pieces of memorabilia that I wanted to package as well, when I sent that off to the fish, which I did today finally. But it took me a solid month of dreading packing a Quest Pro to be able to do it in the first place. And the packing itself was a 2-day process because it took everything I had to even pack it all. And then today it took almost everything I had to finish packing it and then ship it because for some reason I had so many hangups about sending this dumb Quest Pro. I'll talk more about the Quest Pro in a second. First, it's time to talk about the swimming pool at my sister's place because the principle relates. And it's the same principle, actually. I've never cleaned a swimming pool before, and so what would have been a simple task for someone regular was for me a multi-day affair. I think it was 3 or 4 days of sheer panic. It consumed all of those days. It was all I could think about because how do I drain a pool? I've never drained a pool before. Do I have to do a siphon? Okay, how do I do a siphon? Did I do a siphon the right way? Do I have to really suck in this gross, disgusting water? I can't do a siphon the right way. I'm going to do it a different way. Can I dip something out? That's going to take forever. How do I empty a pool? And then after that, did I buy the right things to clean it with? And then how do I clean that? And then am I doing a good enough job? And then am I a good enough brother? Like, it was nuts. In the end, pool story, like whatever, I don't even know what happened to it. I don't think it was used again that year. And then it popped. Like I think everyone knew we didn't need this. Like I was just so hung up on it. Like I needed to figure that out, and I did. But it took days, and I knew while I was doing that, and it did not help. Keeping in mind, like a normal person, this would take a few hours, even if they had never done it either. You watch a few YouTube videos, you just do it, and then it's done. And it took me 3.5 days. And I knew someone regular could pull this off. I'm panicking nonstop and I can't do this. And understanding that disparity freaked me out and made the process much more difficult. I went through that same exact system, baby, when I was trying to deal with this Quest Pro. There was also an emotional element to it. The pool was not made helpful. Like, the pool was a harder situation. Because the emotional element was like, am I being a good brother? And then have I let people down in my life? And there was like, it's a weird emotion to put into that moment, but it did make sense for like what I was going through. And some of the emotions here are like, I hope my boyfriend likes my packing job, which is a really weird problem to have, but I super duper do. And then, of course, I hope that I did a good enough job. It's a delicate, sensitive electronic. I'm pretty sure I packed it okay, but I don't want it to break any more in shipping when it was already not functioning all of the way the right way. But the headset has some emotional attachment as well. So we're going to hit into the emotional attachment before I can wrap up the story of boxing the thing, which then will lead into the story of how I'm an emotional creature and I fall into really dumb logicals that don't always make sense, which then will lead into my boyfriend being really good at doing those sorts of physical tasks that I'm deeply deficient in, but theorizing what that means I am proficient in and trying to find my value. So we still have some story to go through. Let's try and get to it. As for the emotional element to this Quest Pro, I've wanted one for a really long time because I needed face tracking for a really long time because I needed to try and find out who I am through a virtual avatar for a really long time. It's been right, it's been my quest. I knew I needed the Quest Pro. Thing is, I am still not very good at investing in myself. Quest Pro, $1,000 device. I got it on the second hand market for $700 when it was still $1,500. And then the first order of business, by the way, was breaking it. I tried working out in it and didn't realize there was sweat damage. And so sweat damage took place, I think, on like day 2 of even having the stupid thing. And so then I had to save up and spend $1,000 on a brand new one anyway. Because it was secondhand of a quest, so they wouldn't cover it because I wasn't. It was outside the purchasing thing, and they're like, "Oh, hey, sorry about that. Here's $10." So thanks. But anyway, it was that headset which I shipped that I bought the Quest 3 first because it was a baby step. It was a half step, and then I just had to save up money to take the full step. But it was when I was talking with an old friend I hadn't seen for a really long time named Uro, just from my past. I love that guy so freaking much. We get along, we always have, and we were going through kind of parallel journeys for a long time. And something about seeing him at a convention I'd been at when I was still trying to become Finneas Former, uh, it all just kind of came together. And I thought, what am I doing here in a town where I don't really know anybody because I haven't really been expressing myself because I'm just out of position. I'm not where I need to be, and I know that of myself. What am I doing? I need to get the I need to get the control. Like I need to take the leap. And I was telling my friend about that, and he's like, "You gotta do it, man." And he was just right in there, so supportive, right in the moment. And so I left the convention a day early, um, and I bought a secondhand Quest Pro in the area so I could get home with the thing that I needed because I found one at the correct price. It was a strange decision because I was there to like work on like keeping up on my connections and to like get used to like interacting with furries again and try and make friends or whatever. So leaving early to pursue my life dream, I think when I say it that plainly, it does make sense. But it's that headset that I shipped today to my boyfriend. So then you combine, am I packaging it the right way? I don't want it to break anymore. And then there's the emotional element of sending off a device which was so pivotal to me at the time. And then I'm paying respect to like who I've been, where I was, my entire journey, tying it to the pool real quick, which is a stupid thing to feel like I have to do, but there was a lot of like journey about like being a good brother and just a lot of my past there. And so those are related. Like adding emotional heft to anything that I do is inevitable and always makes everything harder to do. Because if it was just a rinky dink headset, I wouldn't have cared so much. But it wasn't just any headset, it was a headset of dreams because it was one of the first things I really went all in on for me and belief in my quest. And it was just something that I needed to take care of. It was just really important to me to get that particular job done right. I feel like I should not have linked the pool story back into that, by the way, but it stays, and then I even feel like I shouldn't be putting this in either, but this is 100% indicative of what a Finneas Former Longer video would be if anyone was watching this live, is that's just something that I feel like I have to say, is I brought the pool thing back into it, but that's like its own weird-ass story that I have to go into some other time. But I have to like come clean about that, but if I draw further attention to it in the video, it will derail the video. Like that's not a direction I have to take, but I have to bring up specifically that that was an odd thing for me to say, and this is an odd thing for me to say too, but it is operating within integrity in this moment, and as I bring people in on this style of moment, this is a piece of the integrity pushing forward. So this is the kind of thing you'd be seeing only behind the scenes. In case you were watching this and wondering what the point is, it's thoughts like this which are the point. Anyway. We're nearing the next part of this video, and it's long enough. I want to be done really soon. But it's that penchant I have for making ordinary things deeply emotional, so that as I unpack and try to handle the physical thing, I'm also working with emotions at the same time. It makes mundane things exceedingly difficult. To the best of my knowledge, my partner does not do that thing. He has this marvelous ability to just kind of be able to do something. He's the kind of guy who can clean a swimming pool easy breezy. It was like a small pool, you know? It was like a big family size, but it was like a blow up pool with 3 rings. So it was a big pool that you just like blow up in your backyard. But it was just a pool. It was not a big pool. It was just a small pool. He's the kind of guy who could clean one of those. He's the kind of guy who could package a Quest Pro, no problem. And I'm willing to bet it wouldn't matter where he bought it, what state of mind he was in. It's just he doesn't. It's a device that he can't use. Like I can't use it, but he can. And then I get to kind of enjoy it too, because then he gets to smile at me in VR. Like, that's great. If he can fix it, that is. And he probably can. He was confident that he could. So that's awesome. So happy. And he's the kind of guy who could just do it. And I am not the kind of guy who could just do it. And I think I'll quickly tie this into like a few videos ago because I'm pretty sure I said that I would, even though at this point I don't think it's necessary for the narrative of this video, so quick interjection. And actually, never mind, I just realized what I thought was the quick interjection is actually its whole entire other video arc. So I accidentally teased at it, and that's going to be probably what the next video that I upload is. Sorry for teasing it, but that's just, I realized like the story is just bigger than that. So that's going to be related for the next video, but table it, and then we'll get back to this video. Anyway, point being, for this video, at least, I'm just doing the best I can over here. And the rest of this video is, I cannot, like, if I'm comparing myself to my boyfriend, it's kind of like you're comparing cats to fish, which you are. But it's like the apples to oranges, like they're just different things. He's better at things that are different, and I'm better at things which are different. I'm sure I'm better at making videos and just being myself, I guess. Like, I don't know. I'm better at playing the piano because he literally can't. That's just like the whole thing there. Like, I'm de facto better. But I just have a different skill set, surely, in the same way that he can package things like a madman. He can clean pools left and right, baby. That's what he does. He doesn't clean pools, but he's very hands-on. He's so good at that kind of stuff, and he sets up servers and figures out how to like make tweaks and like figures out Unity in ways that I can't. And he put clothes on my model because I could not figure it out. And he's just super smart in a lot of hands-on kind of ways. So this video's ultimate purpose is I want to talk through, and we gotta keep it fast. This video is so stinking long right now. So I gotta talk through what might I be good at? Because the life I lived today was a mess. It was part 2 of panicking really hard about shipping off a Quest Pro. And then also the tomorrow's video, it was like also there was a 4-hour little like thing that my head like whoa, and I bruh. So I just today was nuts, and today I was so very not regular. And I know you're not supposed to be like, oh wow, regular. This is a moment, by the way, where the waveform. I don't have the next thought loaded all the way. I was vamping, and this is a moment where it's very important not to vamp. And I know you're supposed to say like normal is boring. You don't want to be normal. I don't want a normal boyfriend. And what does normal even mean? But I think normal might mean something a little bit more like it doesn't take you 2 days of sheer panic to send a Quest Pro, or 3.5 days to clean a swimming pool, and other things that went wrong today. Like I was so super duper challenged in ways that are really basic for I think a lot of people. I don't even think that's like, it's healthy to an extent to compare yourself to other people. I think, like, don't run away with that thought too much, but other people are better at things like sending packages than I am, apparently. So, what am I better at than some other people are? That's not something that I actually know, even though I think there's some answers that are obvious. So, I'm going to just try and say some of the obvious things and see how they feel. I'm better at making these styles of videos than a lot of people, but I don't value that very much because anyone can make this style of video. If you're a VTuber, you can just kind of make one of these. You sit in front of the camera and then you talk, you use your words. And not everyone has like the way with words, I guess. So you can just develop that. But I have peers who don't do what I do. Of the peers, there's two primary that I consider is Campfire Harvest, who actually tries in his videos. But if I tried a similar, like, but does more a different style, but there's similar sense of presentation and sense of humor, similar subscriber counts, both pretty small, and he's what I would consider most a peer, opposed to some of the other furry VTubers and stuff like that who are, you know, more established, I guess. And then the other one I like a lot is Cinder Shadow, I think is his name. Phoenix has been doing content for a long time, recently entered into the VTubing sphere, and he does more of my style of thing most frequently. He does vlogs, but I don't think... But the style is different. I'm much more choppy, and he just seems much more like get in front of the camera and just more honest, straightforward vlogs, and has more theming to a video, and my videos are like super esoteric, like brain 5-dimensional chess, even though really I don't know how to package a swimming pool or whatever. But he tries in different ways, and he's actually better with like thumbnails and streaming on a regular basis and doing more of like active community efforts. And those are who I would consider to be peers in my VTubing space, and they're just different and not doing it in the way that I'm doing it. That's a way that I think it might be helpful to compare oneself to other people. What do I have that my peers do not have? So I might be able to come to value my skill set, and that's a little bit closer than trying to compare my boyfriend who can clean swimming pools and then me who can't. Those are way different things. And I don't know enough about where I'm at in life to be able to say, like, well, I can do creative things really well. It's like, that's not useful in our modern world. And I don't have a lot of value placed within myself. And I'm not yet at the state where I can trust someone else's sense of value in me to inform my own value in me. And that's deeply unhealthy in the first place. Like, I should just unsay what I just barely said. Oh, this video was way too long, but I realize now that we're not even close to being done with it. For crying out loud. We're in it for the long haul. That's what we do with Finneas Former. Psh. We're in it for the long haul. That's what I like to do in my videos. I accidentally unlocked a chonker today, so it's time to keep it going with the next piece of chonk. The reason I'm determined to go through this chonk, by the way, is if I can uncover some of what I'm doing, what I have, which my peers do not have, I might be able to use the same mechanism to figure out what I have that my partner does not have. We're too far apart for me to compare, but I'm closer to my VTubing compatriots. So what do I have that they don't? And then maybe that'll help inform, you know, what I have that the fish does not, or like what I'm just, how I can help, or just what I'm good at generally. Because right now I don't feel like I'm good at anything, but I have to be better at some things than other things just because I'm different. So let's see, I guess. It's super duper conjecture, but it's got to be the style of presentation, which is just I try and do the rapid fire speech, things like that, which the others can do, especially Campfire Harvest is better at that. But then also Cinder Shadow, I don't know why I chose them specifically, does the emotional content, but usually it's a more even cadence of speech, and dare I say, a little bit more homey vibes. And both of them try. Because they have subjects to their videos, which is something I might try doing now and then. Because I don't really. I show up and this is what we're doing, and then here we go, baby. And then I figure out during the end of it what it was all about in the first place. I kind of like that. That's how I am. That's just, I'm a messy head some of the time, all of the time. And is that really what I have that the others do not? Is a messier head and a penchant for not having a subject for a video before I go into making the video? Honestly, yeah. I don't see why not. That's a style of video, baby. Here we go. Just plop down. This is what we're going to be working with today, and then work with it and see what happens, you know? And then I think a lot of the time something does come out of it that's kind of cool, and then you're watching the process of creation of the thing also. It's messy, it's kind of unique, it's really fun for me to do, and apparently it works because people also like it because I have a little community server now and people have like kind of gathered a little bit. So my style is, here's a body of emotion, plop it down, and let's just start fiddling with it and see what happens. I love that so much. And that's the thing that my compatriots in the VTubing sphere are not quite doing in the way that I do. I don't love ranking things by how gay they are. Campfire Harvest, I love you to pieces. I love your content, you're great, but that's just not, like, making specified videos is just not something that, like, it bottles me a lot because that's just my style is emotion, plop it down, let's fiddle. And then like some of my other little funny podcasty videos, like they're fun to do now and then, but like deciding, like I'm so bad at planning things out. And then Cinder Shadow often covers topics and specific things still, and themes of video, the themes of video. And I do love just that simple, also honest integrity to it, but talks more about useful things decided against like emotion and work with it and just see what comes about. That's unique. That's just immediately what my style is. I think anyone would be able to agree who watches these. That's what I have that my immediate compatriots in the VTubing sphere don't. Or at least none that I've really seen that do it like me. So if anyone does have me, other me in the comments, let me know. If you watch other people who are like, oh hey, yeah, this reminds me of Finneas, please let me know. Because as far as I can tell, I'm the only one who does what I do the way that I do. So please let me know. So that alone does give me a little bit more confidence in my style because I named specifically that the thing that I do that makes me unique is the thing that I do that makes me unique. Look, I don't know what I'm even doing here, but it's time for this video to be done. So let's hurry and get to some kind of a resolution, please. Because what that style of operation seems to suggest is I like untangling emotion and working with them, and I can do it kind of swiftly. And what this whole little video series is about is trying to film a lot of videos back to back that kind of thread together but stand alone on their own. It's something I honed over more than a year of trying, got pretty good at, and then tabled off. I'm brushing it back off. Like it's going pretty well. That's what no one else is doing. Here's emotions. Let's work with it. See what happens. Spit out a video. That's kind of, you got a guy presenting. I don't know. I like my style. We're done talking about my style. How does it relate to my relationship? And how will that relate to me as a human? I don't know. Honestly, it might speak to malleability, solving problems in strange ways, opposed to solving problems in direct ways, solving creative problems and putting emotions into odd places. And where I think might be the most practical application is I can untangle my own emotions pretty well. I do it on camera all the time and I love it. And some of my favorite comments in the whole entire world is when people say, like, I said something relatable or helped them untangle something they were going through that's something similar. That's my favorite thing in the whole entire land. And so to apply that in the real world might look like some kind of like a counselor job or something, where if someone's having a really hard time emotionally, then let's untangle that emotion. And a lot of people so frequently, like, I don't want to like be a burden and I don't want to bring anyone down with how I'm feeling. I didn't want to mess up your day. And it's like, bitch, this is what I do. This is all I do. I'm the VTuber who does this, baby. That's just what I love doing the most. And I'm really good at it, I think. Or, no one else. Like, I love what I do. And for a lot of people, a big old blob of emotion is just something that's really hard to handle. And it's not something that they have words to understand because emotions are really hard to describe. And right away, I mean, that's so obvious, baby. That's something that I do that no one else really does. Not my peers in the furry sphere, and that translates into the real world pretty directly. The weird thing is, I don't know how I can apply it to my relationship right now, because he's just better at swimming pool, cleaning, and whatever the other thing was that I've been talking about for no reason at all. And then it's a long distance relationship right now, which has been absolutely killing me. It's been terrible. Oh my gosh, it's the new worst thing ever. Mm. That was me making sure that my mic was still working the right way. Don't mind me. So that's just something new I'm going to chew on because my partner uh, untangles me better than I ever possibly could. And I can like manipulate with emotions, be like, hey, look at this emotional sculpture I made. And he's like, okay, well, that's great. But also, why were you sad? like I just don't need to be sad anymore because he can spend 5 minutes. And for me, it takes 5 hours of filming or whatever nonsense it is. So I'm still learning some of that. But as far as what skills in life I have, which seem to be on the unique end, is I can untangle my own emotions to an extent, but when presented with a tangle of emotion, I can flip around and play with it, and there's reasons that can work in the real world. And I'll take it to the direction that will help me feel best. um, is in creative works that are outside of just myself. Is if we're telling a story which needs to be angry, and I have an artist, and then there's a developer or whatever the thing is, and then I can figure out like, hey, this guy, let's ball of emotion, anger, let's understand anger together. And so make sure everyone understands anger the right way, and then we're going to work on a production together. And make sure everyone is on the same page with ball of emotion, and to kind of understand that together, because that's what I love doing, is taking a body of emotionality, fiddle around with it, and see what comes out the other side. I'm really good at doing that in videos. No one else is doing that in videos, which is what makes me distinct from my peers in the VTubing space. That's what also makes me distinct as a human in the real space. I didn't have words for any of that, and I put words for all of that right now in this video, so I feel a little better about myself now that I have named the fact that I'm pretty good at taking a ball of emotion and just being like, look at what I did with it. Even though it doesn't seem practical at all, it does not help me package devices. It does not help me. It gets in the way of packaging devices and cleaning swimming pools. Like, it messes up everything. It sucks so bad, but it has some useful possibilities in the future. Like, I don't know, but I don't know. I'm working on it, but that's what I'm also gonna. I probably talk a little bit about in the next video. I think, because I want to talk about the hole I fell in today, and then it might help me feel more about like what I unlocked today might apply in the next video. So I'm gonna go film that now, and then this video is gonna be done. What a long boy! Oh goodness gracious! So just I hope you enjoyed it, because, whew, I enjoyed it, but that was a big boy. All right, bye guys. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, it's me from the end of the video. I love being me from the end of the video. We got a long one. It's a little unexpected, so I tried to timestamp it as best as I could. We go on like a personal journey. We figure out how I relate to my peers, and then I'm trying to tell a story, and then I like kind of start and I stop, and it's just all over the place, but I kind of like the journey. So you're in for a journey today, but I hope that you like it too. Oh boy, okay, step out of frame to like finalize it. That was a long boy, goodness gracious. And then we changed the framing so that I understand in the editing bay this is a different style of video. And then the only thing is when I film one of these, I have to operate with integrity and chop it up right away into its respective pieces. Oh, goodness gracious, this is so much work, but I think it's gonna be worth it in the end. Oh my gosh. Okay, upcoming is going to be the story about today, and then what interfered with this video, this long film session that is, how this film session almost did not come to be. We might light more on what did have this video come to be, which I started in talking about 3 videos ago, maybe. This is a messy experience, but maybe it'll all come together to be something in the end. I don't yet know what I'm working with 100% of the way, but I'm trying. Oh my gosh, doing new things is exhausting, but it's kind of fun at the same time. So we're going to go into the other room right now. And remember, this is practice for like streaming and live presentation, because I want to get better at doing this so I can do this better, obviously. So that hopefully I could do this kind of a thing live. And I want to see how that goes, because that could be really useful moving forward. But this is something I want to make sure I can do before I start trying to do it and add pieces to it. This is already a complicated thing. So I need practice doing this before I add more elements to it. So that's what we're doing. Again, I just wanted to remind everyone about that. We're going to a new framing, because I like this room a lot. We're coming to this back room, this back section. I don't know that I usually have a video that I'm filming. This is the framing that we want for the new video. We're so excited. And this video is going to be about the rabbit hole that I fell into today. I fell into a very big hole today, and we're going to talk about it. And this one does have to do with my relationship, because last time I mentioned that the fish is better at doing things than I am when it comes to like packaging stuff and handling details like cleaning a little family-sized swimming pool in your backyard. And we're going to illustrate once more a problem I ran into today and try to unpack how I can work with those problems in the future, because I can't just be crying boyfriend every time something small happens. And I don't know what else will work, but I just now unlocked that I'm pretty good at working with emotions. So I want to try and remember that for myself by talking all about it in this upcoming video. That's enough introduction, and I think the framing is pretty good. So that's what we're going to get to. Oh, gotta hydrate. Gosh, and this is the kind of thing I've wanted to do live for a long time. And in my community server, it's what I've been trying to do. And I've lacked the confidence in my own style to do it as deeply as I am now. We'll get there. Yeah, walk out of frame. I have to do a slate. And And that's going to be your standard boyfriend doing whatever. Gosh, I have to go to the bathroom. Dang it. This will be a cut then. I've been drinking energy drinks and water, so actually I'm going to be right back. And you guys get that knowledge too. But this is going to be a quick little cut, so cut. Slate the rabbit hole that I fell down today, which has to do with the $7 whatever. The lens is wrong, but whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. In yesterday's video, I successfully unlocked that I'm pretty okay at taking a bundle of emotionality and like expanding it out and seeing what happens with it and working with it and transforming it into other things. It's what I do in my videos, and it works out pretty good. It's what sets me apart from all of the other creators. Today, I had a big bundle of emotionality which took place that I did not manipulate. I got really lost in it. I fell down a rabbit hole. And interestingly, I was going to get into VR and film more or less what I'm filming now, but then the rabbit hole happened, and 4 hours were gone, and I had plans of filming this. I only now recognize that I could have theoretically taken that bundle of emotionality and manipulated it in a video, which is what I do anyway. It's what sets me apart from my peers, and it's what will set me apart and does set me apart from a lot of the people in the real world. It's the only skill I really have. So I want to talk about the thing that happened today, why it upset me so much, and some of the emotions that were involved there. And at the end of this video, I want to theorize if I had approached earlier that same bundle of emotionality, what kind of video might that have made? It might have made a series of videos, the way that there's been a series of videos already. I'm excited to take what we learned from yesterday's video, which was primed from the other videos before it, to put all of that knowledge here and see what might have happened if I had taken different steps to handle the emotionality which did take place. Let's get to it. Gosh, that is one heck of a thesis. That is a heck of a thesis. Oh boy. All right, let's hit it. Up first, it's just got to be story time, because 4 hours ago, that's an eternity. Actually, it was like 5 hours ago, because I've been filming for about an hour and a half, actually, almost 2 hours, which means we're actually good on target for this filming session. I like about 2 hours of filming, which is neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is about 5 or 6 hours ago recently. But problem is that there was a problem today. It took place after I was packaging something, which we talked about already, and then something silly occurred. So we're going to talk about the silly thing that occurred about 6 hours ago, and then how it affected everything that happened since. So story time for a little bit. Story time then. I'm actually pretty excited about this one because it's so stupid, and I knew how stupid it was. And so I need to tell the story, and then everyone will know, like, oh my gosh, Finneas, that's so stupid. But, oh, that's relatable, because apparently I'm relatable sometimes, which is horrible news. But here we go. Checking my mic again. Because as I've been saying, I had to drop off a package, which was just like a whole ordeal, multi-day ordeal, and the fish is aware of that. And one of the other things that I had to do today was go to the nearby grocery, like, reduced discount store or whatever, and figure out about getting some affordable energy drinks, because I went through the last case that the fish had purchased for me. And so I needed just more. And he said he'd reimburse me for them because he wanted them to be a special treat. But we live 2,000 miles apart. And it's just cheaper if I buy them locally and then he reimburses me And it's like, well, it came from me, instead of like if he just buys and sends them to me, it's more expensive that way. So that's one of the errands I had to tackle today, which I did after shipping the package of Destiny, which I talked about in the previous video. So the story will help a little bit if we just background it with I was emotionally heightened, but I usually am. There's usually something going on. I was just heightened a little bit today. Not that big of a deal. But I went to the grocery store and I got those drinks. I got a whole bunch. And so I told the fish like how much it was and just kind of like how the day had been going so far. And I was happy the package was done and then I had gotten all of those drinks. It was about $18 worth of, it was $18. It was 18 cans at $1 each, which was actually a really good price. And then the fish, true to his word, and as gentle and polite and excellent as he is, reimbursed me for $25. So it was like he had surprised me with a big old case of just cheap energy drinks, and then a little bit extra. And then he said in the note, "Go buy yourself a fancy drink, kitten," which is just a really sweet little name. Problem is, my head went nuts with that because I had just finished up shopping and doing a big errand before that even. And I was ready to be done doing things because I'm on like my bicycle, so errands are kind of hard for me. And then to go get myself a coffee looks like, well, I have to get on the bicycle, carry it downstairs, go, and I don't have a good way to bring a coffee back home because I'm on bicycle. I don't even have like a thermos or anything like that, which I should. So the answer would be to go out to a coffee shop and like do some things, which I almost did today because there's some really cool Resonite stuff that I want to do, which I might get to later depending on how I feel after filming this. But I know what I want to work on finally, and I feel silly about it, but I could totally prototype that out and just organize stuff. Like, I could go to a coffee shop, is what I'm saying, and that's probably how I would have handled the experience if I had noticed before getting home that he had given me extra money to like go get a special coffee. So the problem became this. In the real world, if we had a relationship where we did not live 2,000 miles apart, he would have surprised me with a coffee. Or if I was not in a position to get a coffee, then he would have like brought one home for me as a treat for like the big day that I had where I was tackling a big emotional problem and he wanted to just like give me a little boost, and so he gave me a little bit extra coffee money, and I wasn't in a place to be able to go get that. But if we were lived nearby, which we just don't right now, he would have just been able to, and it would have been super sweet and super cute and a nice way to take care of me. And in that moment, it felt like, and this is projection too, I'm Captain Projection. It's pretty rough. But I projected onto him that he wanted to take care of me, but because we live 2,000 miles apart, I have to take care of myself in his honor. And where I was not in a position where I was planning on going out to get a fancy coffee, then I was not enabling him to take care of me in the way that he would have if we had a normal close by relationship, and my head was just running all sorts of gymnastics. It was insane. Some of what's going on there is we have a protocol. When I fall down a little hole like that I can reach out to him, because he's really good at saying, hey, it's not a big deal, sweetheart. And then when I did finally reach out, he said, get this, it's not a big deal, sweetheart. And then, wouldn't you know it, I've learned that it wasn't a big deal. But I didn't reach out right away. Because by the time I'm freaking out because he sent me $7 extra to buy myself a treat, then I'm being deeply ungrateful for the extra dollars. He sent me coffee money and I freaked out about it. So I'm going to reach out to this guy and be like, You sent me you gave me a gift of coffee, and how could you? I'm falling apart now. That sucks. That's so stupid. Unfortunately, I have taken that moment and immortalized it into a video, which I don't think is great either, but so even though protocol is I reach out because 2 hours earlier, an hour earlier, a while earlier, I think it was 2 hours actually, of trying to deal with this on my own, because I don't want to cry fish every time something minor happens, and minor things are going to happen all the time. $7 little coffee is going to happen. Like, that's a good thing. Good thing. A good thing happened, and I had to cry fish about it because I was freaking out. I can't keep doing that. I can't keep doing that. And yeah, it's 2,000 miles, but until that changes, it's going to be a thing. Like, I don't want to be crying fish when 2,000 miles happens, or when good things happen. I gotta figure some of this out on my own, man. So I did what any good self-respecting kitty cat VTuber would do. I put off getting into VR gear, which had been my plan when I got home from all of those errands anyway. And I laid on the floor. I'm really good at laying on the floor. I made a video about it recently when I was feeling like a drama llama and I was laying on the floor for that video. But I lay on the floor all of the time. And usually it's not in like a good way. A lot of the time it's in like the weight of the world is too much and my head won't stop. And I don't even have like the energy to be upright about it. Because if I lay on the floor and just the head is just nuts. It was nuts. And I didn't want to cry fish about it, even though if I had, then fish could be like, it's not a problem. And then immediately everything just dissipates. But I wanted to try and figure this one out on my own, at least a little bit. And eventually it simmered down enough to that I was able to get upright and play a game to like take my mind off things a little bit. And then I reached out anyway because I'm going to have to come clean about how my day went sooner or later. And then more projection on the way, but I feel like he was probably a little bit like, why wouldn't you say something earlier? And then I was like, I don't know why I didn't say something earlier either. If you figure it out, you know, let me know. Like, I was a nightmare today. And I think I mentioned earlier, but we're very grateful to one of my viewers who brought a video to my attention that did kind of and it took about 4 hours, all things told, to get back where I was going to be. This is what I wanted to do when I got done with my bike ride, get into VR and do this. I had ideas for what to film. It would have been a different video series. I don't know if it would have been as fruitful, but I'm sure we would have learned something different. It would have been really similar. What you have seen so far, this video series, and this longer whatever nonsense, like, this was always going to exist. This was the one thing I really wanted to get done today. The only thing that really happened is I fell down a hole about it, and then was in a hole about it. I just, on the floor, couldn't do it. I was too proud to reach out to my partner, who helped instill the protocol that when I feel that way, I reach out, because 4 hours, and he turns that into 5 minutes. A 5-minute phone call, maybe 20 at the most. Like, that's good. That's good. That's a relationship going well. And I was too proud to do that. But also I was deeply ashamed to do that because he did something nice and I don't want to have to cry about it. Which now I am doing in an entire video. So, you know, that's great. But I wanted to try and sort it out on my own by laying on the floor and feeling it. I see where you're going with that, little buddy, but I think there might be a better way than just crushing me and then that's me on the floor, like the bottom of the camera. That's where I would be on the bottom. And then the top, like rule of thirds is a big thing. So this is like the third, and that would be me. And then the top 2/3, crushing me, like feeling it all of the way, man. That's not a proactive thing. That's a I'm feeling everything and I'm laying on the floor about it thing. Sometimes that's all you can do, but I know that I'm a lot stronger than that. And somewhere along the way, I learned not to go to alcohol when I feel that way. I don't even really go to video games when I feel that way all of the time. I used to, but anything like that, I recognized to be a moment of stasis, where I'm distracting myself with a video game, but then once I'm done distracting myself, I still have to process everything that took place. I'm not actually working through anything when I take my aggression out on the survivors in Dead by Daylight. I'm just putting my emotions on pause, or trying to. But if you've been paying attention the past handful of videos, we unlocked something pretty important, I think. I'm good at manipulating emotions. I do need to caveat this by saying that I didn't want to. I was feeling everything. I was feeling it all. 100. Like, I could not. I didn't want to. It just sucked. And that's the most unfair thing in the entire world, by the way. When your loved one sends you an extra $7 to treat you to a coffee, and what I had wanted to do was get into my creative enterprise and film stuff and edit things, and I was just really excited about that. And then I no longer wanted to because I just got really salty about mainly the long distance thing, and there was projection involved and just all sorts of whatever took place. So my partner did something nice for me, and then I was like, I don't want to anymore. And that's extremely unfair. That's not okay. Especially if we add in the element that not everyone is able to manipulate their emotions in the way that I can and do and enjoy doing. People get something out of my videos. So I chose not to when I was in a prime position to be able to. And some things, like big issues of communication in a relationship, are important to share, like with a partner first. Those are things that you do phone calls about. There's things that are bitch ass pussy shit to do on your own. There's some things that are appropriate to say to the world and some things which are not. And there's some bundles of emotionality which are safe and silly. $7 and oh my gosh, the world is ending. That's kind of a silly thing. I knew it was silly when I was laying on the floor feeling the weight of everything. It was silly, and I was so ashamed of how silly it was, yet how dramatic I was being about it, that I chose not to reach out to my partner about it, even though that's the protocol we instilled, because I wanted to be able to work through such a silly problem on my own. Yet, I chose not to. And yet, I chose not to. There's two reasons that I can think of off the top of my head. The first one is just the honest to God, yeah, I don't want to, which is fair. That's just, I was in the pits, I was in the dumps about that, and I had like a lot of like just burn it all to the ground energy I didn't want. Like, it was, everything was the worst. And I was like, fine, I'll mess up all my plans. I'll go get a coffee because then I'll fulfill his end of the thing. And it's like, that would be the worst choice because then I'm messing up my day for sure to get a coffee when it should be a good thing. And like, my head was just all over the place. I was seriously locked. But I would say the larger reason why I didn't get in and manipulate the bundle of emotions the way that I can, that no one else can, or that no one else is doing if they can. Is that I didn't want to complain or unload what I was feeling on, like, the world. That doesn't seem like something useful to do. That just doesn't seem like the energy I want to bring into the stage of the world. I want to add things that are better or beneficial or whatever. I don't want to just get in and vent about the $7 situation. That doesn't seem like a video I would want to watch. That's not an energy I want to inhabit. That's just a bad time. I'm ashamed of feeling that way when I know it's an extremely silly thing to be feeling. The solution was a phone call away. What am I doing? Here's the thing, though. I'm really good at manipulating emotions. It's the only thing I do. It got me a little itty bitty following and Discord people that we hang out with and cool conversations and confidence. And then it got me a really cool boyfriend. And it's the thing that I love the most. And it's what sets me apart, not only as a furry creator, but as a human person. I'm good at doing the thing I chose not to do. And I kind of realize now that if I could have done that and figured out that moment a little bit better on camera, that doesn't have to be I'm there venting about something that like went horribly today, but that's taking something that I was feeling horrible about, manipulating it and seeing what happens. I'm good at that. We did that last video. We did that recently. Like, that's what I do. I'm good at that. I love doing that. And for some reason, I didn't want to bring that energy into the world. Thing is, though, what I do is transformative. I could have turned something yucky into something that was kind of cool. Or at the very least, if it stays yucky, then you can apply different principles to it and just manipulate it anyway and be like, hey, look, it's still yucky, but look at the thing that I did, you know? You can still do something with it. That would have been something more constructive than just laying on the floor, at least, and I absolutely could have done that. Not wanting to bring something ugly into the world is what held me back from doing the manipulation. But if I have confidence that the ugly thing will no longer be ugly by the end of it, I think we might be onto something there. And if you take the art of manipulation as art itself, then it doesn't matter if it's something ugly or happy. Either way, we're manipulating emotions and seeing what comes out of it. I think all emotion states warrant that kind of examination. I'm just going to theorize for a second here that if I had untangled that, I would have come into projection as a concept in the mind, what it is, how it works, what pitfalls it brings. That's something that I'm really good at. I am Captain Projection. There would have been a projection video. There would have been a long distance video about how long distance relationships are challenging, and this video touched on that, but it probably would have been a whole video and talking about how I've resolved it, but then how it's beneficial and worth it to be in such a long distance relationship anyway, even though the challenges are there, which then has theming about doing something challenging but rewarding and what that process is like. There's a lot of other angles I can think of off the top of my head that probably would have or could have arose if I had addressed that bundle of emotionality earlier. And those are all really cool video ideas. I was really happy when I said those two out loud. I was like, I would watch those. And I gotta be careful with that. I don't want to light on industry. I mentioned that recently too. Is the more I try to apply industry to my creative endeavors, then the worse everything gets. It all falls apart. But it's a little bit true. I would be remiss not to bring it up at least a little bit. Because I don't want any emotion states to interfere with my creative industry. I'm calling it industry, that's a very mechanical word, but sometimes mechanical language can help navigate a messy system. But if I can make a video when I'm happy, or when I'm sad, or if I'm really upset, or if I'm really angry, and I learn how to be able to manipulate all of those emotion states and hone my craft that way, then I can make more content more regularly, be less affected by casual things because I have an outlet and I can just do my job regardless of what body of emotionality that I'm in. That's what's prudent for me to be able to do as a human, let alone as a creator who wants to be able to make things on a regular basis. So not only could it have been useful to me to process my emotions earlier because I'm good at doing that, and that something ugly doesn't have to stay ugly after I've transformed it, else the act of transforming just the shape of an ugly thing can itself be beautiful. There are so many ways I could have adjusted my situation positively had I made the decision to act. And I would have had videos earlier. And after this, I had wanted to probably get into Resonate because I have a new idea about what I want to work on. And from there, spend time with the fish. But now I'm filming and not spending time with the fish because I laid on the floor for 4 hours instead of doing this 4 hours earlier because I was worried about a lot of things that I would have liked to approach differently. So now let's wrap up everything from the past few videos, over 2 hours of filming at this point, and then I'm still not done filming after this. I'm a little workhorse, baby. Watch me go. I gotta be honest with you. 4 videos ago is forever ago. I don't remember. I think we were touching on I didn't want to start making a video, but like I remembered why making videos is useful to me. And I don't need them anymore. And some of that I think might have to do with like I have a 5 minute phone call with a fish and I'm better, you know? But I can still use videos to manipulate emotionality on my own for myself to see, but how that manipulation can create art and is the thing that sets me apart as a creator. So I missed an opportunity to be the creator that only I can be. I came to the realization after following through. No. And I do not even a little bit remember what I was just saying. I don't know what to tell you. It's been a long day, and I actually got super distracted by when I brought up Resonate just now. I'm like closing this video way too quickly, I think, but it's been long enough. The only thing that I really learned is that yesterday's video, last video, whatever that video was, that I'm really good at manipulating emotionality, and I wasn't doing that when I could have done that, and I would like to be able to do that in the future for simple problems that I know are silly, even though it feels like if I'm in an ugly space, I don't want to make videos. That might be some of the most valuable times for me to make videos, and I learned that, which I only realized that that was something I would learn after making all of the videos up to this point. And that's the end of this video, honestly. It's just gotta go because it's time for this filming session to be done, baby, and time for this video to be done. But there's one more thing I really, really want to talk about. And so the next video, I'm just going to keep on rolling with it, baby. I want to talk about Resonite because I realized something really cool. And I'm so excited to work on it. I was going to start fiddling with it today because I think I had last night, the realization of it, or maybe even just today when I was like doing things. I think it might be that packaging up that package I talked about recently freed up my mind. And I'm just so excited now to move forward. So I want to talk about what my new Resonite idea is. And some of that has to do with the industry of getting people, like, if I'm able to do this in, like, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the next video, I'll be talking a little bit more about Resonite and my ideas of that, and then how that kind of relates to everything I have brought up so far a bit. Oh my gosh, because I don't like applying industry to the things that I do, but there is an industry here, and being honest about that is honest, and I want to be honest. And it's also just really fun to talk about, and it's been a really long day. So I want to just talk about something that I want to talk about. Gosh dang it. So I'm going to go do that. That's what the next video is going to be for you good people at home. And so I'm going to walk out of frame. But I hope that you enjoyed this video because I put a lot into it, if you couldn't tell. Because I try to do everything I can with a lot of me in it. Because that just makes life a better place. Talk to you guys later. Oh, goodness gracious. How long has this film session been? I can't believe I locked myself in. So only 2 hours, so we're okay. And we're still recording the right way. Goodness gracious. Okay. Whoa. All right. So we got to reset that camera positioning. Anchor reset. And so if this was a live stream, though, which again is ultimately the plan, we're going to move this around. Actually, fire. We're going to go fire on this one. So we're going to go actually fire. We're going all the way down to Firetown. I get cozy on the couch for a sec. Or with the couch. Actually, can I get cozy on the couch? It doesn't matter. So, what I would have be doing live, what am I even saying? It's take a second, gather your thoughts, buddy. This is the point where I'm totally cooked, man. And this would be perfect for, if this was in VR chat, then this is when I would transition into Resonite, where I'd be a little bit more deflated, a little bit more silly because I got out all of my thoughts. I have so much to say all of the time. I know because I just spent 2 hours talking nonstop to the camera. And I can't wait to add people to this to get the hang of that, to then add actually more people to it and get the hang of that as well. So the timing is perfect, honestly. And so as far as transitioning into Resonite in spirit for this productionality, I'm not going to work on that now. I would like to. So I'm going to film a video that's about Resonite, but not inside of Resonite. That's fine, because I just want to like talk about my ideas, because they're really cool. They relate to something that I've been working on recently. I just don't know what the framing is that I want to have. I'm a little bit tired. I've never done a video actually at the fire, so maybe I don't know how this is going to work or not. Beep. And usually I'm on the floor only when something bad has happened. But nothing bad has happened. I just feel like being on the floor, I think. That's just going to be a nice, cozy vibe for us all. My hip tracker seems a little bit off, though. Oh, it's because it wasn't being tracked whatsoever. So we're going to come here. Actually, how's my fire framing? Fire off this way. Look at how cozy that is. That's going to be so cozy. I feel cozy. I feel cozy and happy in front of the fire for the Resonate video, which we're going to make now. I have to slate a little bit though. And the slate, I'm just going to talk about Resonate, so it's not a big deal. And then we'll be done. I can't wait to be done. This is so long. Okay. I don't even think I don't think I need to do a slate. Slate, talking about Resonate strings. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and hello. As was foretold in the scrolls, I am here talking about Resonate finally, because it's been a really long filming session, and all I really wanted to do today was talk about Resonate. If I seem distracted, it's because there's a little kitty cat over there, a little plushie that I grabbed. It looks like this. And now I'm going to try and throw it somewhere else because it's totally in my way. Hey, that worked. And I just felt like getting cozy, bringing it down a little bit. Usually I'm sitting only when something bad has happened, but I just feel like being cozy because it's been 2 hours of this. I've been talking nonstop, and sometimes when I talk, I'm just tired of talking, so I'm a little bit tired, but I still have more talking to do because I haven't talked about Resonate yet, and I'm really excited about the new plan. And the new plan basically is the old plan, kind of, because I'm learning more about Resonate and how things work within it and how to build things inside of it. And I was remembering more about what the important things are that I want to build. And the reason I remembered that is because I was thinking through the same themes that came out in this whole entire video series about I have not been making content for a while. What's that about? What have I historically been trying to make and been really hung up on? And just kind of thinking through that, because I'm a communicator first and foremost, so I haven't been making videos, just kind of like what's going on there? What can go on there? What can we do about that? And if you're curious about why I'm still hopping around the frame, I am literally scooting around between frame. It just sounds like a fun way to do this video. I don't know what to tell you. But I've been really hung up for a really long time, years, about an interactive fiction engine. You guys will hear me, remember me talking about that a whole bunch, and then I just completely tabled the whole thing. But I've learned enough about Resonate to learn more about how manipulations of strings can work, and I have every confidence that I can make an interactive novel inside of Resonate. Those kind of exist. My friends Fuzzy and Dwaggy have literally made such a thing, but it operates a little bit differently. It's not as much of a novel, it's more interactive, it's just different. And mine are deeply customizable. A lot of just they change a lot as there's a lot of depth in it, and I've developed the system to build them in the first place. I never fine-tuned the system to read them, and they would all be individual little stories I would launch on itch.io probably. And I just haven't made the final step to finalize them, but it's the thing that I truly love. It's just for some reason this project is just the thing I always love. It's kind of like in Minecraft, when you're in a new Minecraft world, and the first thing that you do is you find sand, and your friends are playing Minecraft, and you're like, I'm just gonna make sand for a while, and they're like, okay, sure. And so then you empty out the beach of all the sand, and then you have to put take the ocean away, and then you take that sand also, and then you cook it all into glass, and then you make a glass castle in the sky, or for me sometimes it's a giant glass ball, and then you cover it with lava on the inside, and then you make a house inside, so you have a lava castle in the sky, and then you make an obsidian portal inside, so the only way to get into your lava castle is through the nether, and then you make that entrance kind of cool or whatever, and then you beat Minecraft, and then you never play it again for a few years. I kind of feel like that in Resonate, because all I really want to do right now is keep working on that weird little interactive fiction engine. Because I tried doing that in Python and then realized I need the graphical language Kivy, so then I learned that. And then I feel like there was one other kind of quasi and then mobile. I was trying to figure out how to do that on the go, to make a better constructor for the thing. And then I was building out a little application for that too. And this is all that I can do. It's what I love doing, apparently. It's just I'm so hooked on this one really specific coding principle and idea. And I'm really excited to get back to it. And it's not like a useful thing to do, and I want to do things that are like community driven and stuff. But as far as just a personal little passion project, and I got time for passion projects lately, that just sounds like a really fun one to do. And I know about manipulating like how variables work and manipulating strings, and so how like my key system works in JSON, and then how to parse out the JSON. And so then concatenate this variable, which is set by the player when they press a button, and then like that button sets this variable at that location to be this value, and then concatenate strings, find the value that's here / the value that's there, and then the particular key that you found somewhere else. I know how that structure works in JSON. I know enough about slots and variable dynamic fields in Resonite to be able to parse it out. I can absolutely take the sort of JSON string that my constructor program, which is effectively finished, outputs, parse it out into Resonite, and then all I would have to do is build out like a click button system in Resonite to get my interactive fiction engine working inside of Resonite. Now, even if that's not the kind of project that lights the fire in a world, it lights a fire in me. And just working on anything, building any project, will help you learn more about Resonite and about making code and how I like organizing code. And how to like aim lasers better because I'm just in Resonite more, figuring out problems. And then I have to reach out to people. Recently I reached out to Rix, who had an answer with strings. I was trying to figure out how to drive a string and a float together. So if the button says 3, it does 3, but if the button says 5, it does something different. I wanted that code really unified across buttons. He managed it by, on the component end, by driving a float value instead of a string. And I was like, that's interesting. Why is that? And as it turns out, that just manipulating strings sucks. So the less you have to do that, the better, especially in Flux. It's just a nightmare. So naturally, the thing that I want to do is build out a thing that requires tons and tons and tons and tons of string manipulation, but that just sounds really fun. And this is the first time in Resonite I found a project that I want to do, that I know how to do, and it's going to be fun. You search for a key that's going to come out like I know how to do it, and I might even know how to make the button fields work. I think I can figure this out right now. I'm super excited to get to it. That's really the whole thing, actually. I think that's everything I needed in this video, is I just wanted to talk about something I was excited about for a little bit. But what I've been doing this whole series is talking through emotionality, so I want to try and tie this all in together because I know that it relates. There is a reason that I decided we're going to end on Resonite, and I think it's because the entire video series has kind of trended towards Resonite, because I think this video series is a microcosm of how I trend. That's a chonker idea. I was way too emotional today to work in Resonite. I would have been blocked and just, I can't think straight because I was super conflicted about all sorts of things, and I had to like just unpack and untangle myself and where I was at for 4 whole videos, which I did. And then the 5th video just now is finally something that's really fun that I was just excited about. So if things had gone differently, different day, different way, then 4 hours ago, I could have been here, done, and then I'm going to have to edit this at least a bit, chop it out. I'll hang out in a community server while I'm doing it. It's going to be kind of fun. And then I'll probably not have time to keep going, although I might get into my Resonite investigations anyway. But there's an event in Resonite I might want to go to, but then also I want to hang out with the fish really bad. So we'll see. I don't know what my night's going to look like, but my night could have looked like Resonite earlier. My mornings can still look like Resonite. I still have a schedule to pull off all of the things that I want to do. And if I wake up consistently, I can film and edit or whatever on a morning to get my emotional bundle out and sorted so then I can move into Resonite and keep working on my dream passion project. I can build it so that my community server and I can interact while I'm in Resonite. I can still hear them. Anyone else in Resonite can still hear them also. So I can be with the community in Resonite building out my passion project of dreams after I've sorted out my emotionality by being honest in videos no matter what my emotional state is. I think we're onto something here. And I've been trying to do it, not maybe too much at a time. I don't know for sure. But I don't think filming live is the right move yet, because I need to remember how to be this honest with even just myself. Like, I think I was trying to do too much. Like, I don't know exactly what I was trying to do here, but we're onto something. And this whole video series, I think, was something which unlocked something massive. And yeah, I thought we had unlocked something pretty big when it's like, you can unbundle emotions. And then it's like, well, I had emotions earlier today. I could have unpacked that earlier. And then that's kind of a beautiful journey. That's a really fun thing to learn. But the more fun thing to learn, I'm busy. The more fun thing to learn is that by freeing myself of emotions, by talking them out, because I am no longer bundled with emotion, now I'm just kind of tired of them. I feel so free, loosey-goosey. I am happy as a clam. I am fancy-free. I am just a happy little boy. I feel better than ever. I am ready to go. I am like, let's hit it. And there's no more emotions. I'm not worried about anything. I unpacked it all. I talked it all to pieces. And so now I could absolutely hop into Resonite and like handle strings or whatever. That sounds fun. And all it did was take like, 2.5 hours of filming or something like that. In a format I'm pretty happy with. And this was like part of like a whole series or whatever, which was 2.5 hours of filming with reasonably contained elements to it. So I like there was some amount of industry to it, but like I'm really happy with how the last 2.5 hours went. So if I can carry these lessons through and operate with adequate levels of integrity, I kind of think I'm onto something here. And I'm excited to work on my Resonite build and then work with the community server. And I just had to remember how excited I am for all things after expressing how upset I was about all things and talking my way through it. Oh, goodness gracious. Now it's time for this video series to be done. I don't have a better way to close it out. That's an update on where I'm at with Resonite. Yeah, I've got things I want to build out for like streams. So streams can be a lot of fun, but I think even doing that is missing the point a little bit. It's trying to introduce streaming too early. I don't think I'm ready for that as much as I wanted to be able to be. It's great knowing that I can, and it's a lot of fun, but there is unfortunately, it's not even unfortunate. And I call it an element of industry, but even outside of that, it's just fun creatively to be able to pull these things off, to manipulate emotions consistently in a really fun and impressive way, even just impressive to myself. And streaming is a lot of fun right now, but there's other things that are fun and beneficial and just different. It's different. And so I'm just restructuring things a tiny, tiny little bit, but I'm so excited about it. And I'm excited about it now, and I wasn't excited about it 4 hours ago or 2.5 hours ago or whatever, because I was feeling the weight of everything, and now I'm not. I am free as a bird, so I'm going to go. I'm going to, like, scoot out of frame, because I'm going to go, and then when I'm done with this, probably go edit, even though I want to get into Resonite, but my brain's a little fried, and I need a break from everything. And editing videos can be a break from filming the videos, and sometimes I don't always watch my videos. I, like, edit it really fast, but I think we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to finish squiggling out of frame. I hope you guys have a good day. I'm like at the edge of my play space. It might not work very well. I'm trying, guys. This is terrible. Okay, I'm just going to go this way. Bye. No, stop. And And then as far as closing out the long filming session, I don't know how to do that. I really don't know how to do that, guys. I'll move the framing a little bit so that I know in post it's different, even though I would have known anyway through context. I don't know what it's like to close out one of these, to make a long filming session. It's always really awkward. I don't like ending it, but this will be important, I guess. If you guys watched the long, what would be a VOD, because I do think I want to upload this all just as a Finneas Former Longer, the longer form, whatever that is. The true behind the scenes, if you tuned into one of my filming sessions live, be it in my Discord server or on YouTube, or wherever I end up doing that, if it's a Patreon thing down the line, I don't even know what any of that would look like. Letting me know how this watch experience goes, maybe. I don't know if I would need that feedback or not, because this is just how it has to be right now. But for those who are in it for the long haul, thank you for being in it for the long haul. That's just kind of fun. And I guess, I don't know. But hi, how are you? Hope you're doing well. I do hope you're doing well. And sometimes I do actually genuinely worry about, it's actually something I do worry about a lot, is there's a lot of people who get along with what I say. And I say pretty frequently, and I think people might take it as a joke. Like, I'm so sorry that you feel that way, that you identify with me. That's not a good life to live, stuff like that. But no, honest to God, actually, that's terrible, kind of. I don't want to put it so plainly, but that's just a really, really hard place to be, because I've been in a really, really hard place. And I am still, but my problems these days are like, oh, I'm trusting my boyfriend too much. Like, what, suffering from success right now? Like, get out of here, little buddy. But I still have really strong emotions about all of it. My foot's all over the place. Foot, stop. I'm busy. But anyway, it is cool that people have gravitated towards what I've done. Not a ton of people yet, but people, more than I would have ever thought, I guess. And I was prompted once a long time ago, what would I say to people who were like me? And the question itself had more words than that, but I once made a video that was a travesty, because I don't know what I would say to people like me, and I still don't. But it's hard sometimes. It's hard. And it's harder than a lot of people recognize. And based on how well you understand your own senses of emotionality, it's harder than you can recognize. And people will say, take it easy, don't be so hard on yourself. And I think a lot of those words come from people who don't know what's going on the inside. And especially when you don't know what's going on in the inside, that's just a hard place to be. And it's the kind of a hard place that no one else can have words for or about. It's a deeply unique space to be in. And I don't think there's anything that really can be said, but kind of like, I don't know. It's pretty rough. That's kind of it, though. Like, I don't know. Good luck, I guess. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. But happy that you guys are hanging out. Those of you who do identify with me in the videos that I've been making and the words that I say. And I mean, yeah, it'll be fine. Not a big deal. Sometimes it feels like a really big deal. But it will be fine, because it has always been fine. There's the hack that, like, it's okay not to be okay. That works a little bit. It's cheap, and the process of thought there is much bigger. But, I don't know. You'll be fine. That's all I got really to say. I have no authority on which to speak, and then I just went to Timbuktu. So I kind of think that is the universe saying that it is time to be done. So now I'm going to squiggle out of frame. I'm going to go this way, though, which I have more room in my play space. So that will work better than the bad outro I did for the last video. So thank you guys for hanging out. I feel like this is a good send off, a good little personal send off for the enthusiasts who are here live or in whatever the VOD recording is, wherever you find this fun little private message to people who found this message. Yeah, good luck, but also you got it. And now it's totally time to be done. I disappeared for the second time, so we're gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna call it. Okay, bye.